One thing's for certain, Elon Musk is a brilliant guy, but he can, at times, be slightly unconventional. His wicked sense of humor shines through via his Twitter account, but even then, he misses the mark. He famously said that if there were ever a scandal involving him, it should be called Elongate. So who is the real Elon Musk? Where did the mysterious billionaire, CEO and entrepreneur come from? What has he achieved so far, and what are his ambitions for the future? Let's find out. The man. If you don't know who Elon Musk is, then you've probably been living under a rock. He took the electric car from a non-viable pipe dream into an industry mainstay with his company Tesla. Before that, he was the mind behind PayPal, a payment service that most of the world use in the present day. And now? He has his gaze firmly focused on the starry sky above, working with NASA on space missions, as well as launching reusable rockets and spacecraft with SpaceX. New beginnings. Monday, June 28, 1971. The day the Musk family welcomed their firstborn son, Elon, into the world. His mother, May, was a striking woman, a model turned dietitian who has both brains and beauty. She even appeared on both the Special K cereal box as well as the cover of Time magazine. Still a sight to behold in her 70s, she currently has a contract promoting CoverGirl Cosmetics, a modeling career spanning more than 5 decades. May had met Elon's father Errol after migrating to Pretoria in South Africa from her native home in Canada. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, it seems, as dear old dad Errol has a genius-level IQ and was the youngest person at the time to ever be awarded a professional engineer's certification in South Africa. Early life. As a child, Elon was so engulfed in his own thoughts and daydreams about inventions that his parents took him to get a hearing check. He's not deaf, by the way, he just vibrates on a different frequency to everyone else. A young Elon decided to move in with his father after his parents split up just before his 10th birthday. When asked about it in a recent interview, he had this to say about his father. "He was such a terrible human being, you have no idea. My dad will have a carefully thought out plan of evil. He will plan evil." You get the picture. Right about this time, his interest in computers peaked. He taught himself how to write code using an old Commodore VIC-20, and at the tender age of 12, developed a video game called Blaster. He described it as a trivial game but better than Flappy Bird, and managed to sell it to PC and Office Technology magazine for the princely sum of $500. Teen years. High school was neither an easy nor a pleasant time for Elon Musk. He was horrifically bullied and was even once hospitalized after thuggish students from his cohort threw him down a flight of stairs until he blacked out. With a tumultuous home and school life, he sought comfort in reading books. In particular, Isaac Asimov, who provided the basis for the credo that Musk lives his life by. You should try and take the set of actions that are likely to prolong civilization, minimize the probability of a dark age, and reduce the length of a dark age if there is one. Being a short, extremely gifted introvert wasn't nearly as cool as it is now. College. Elon Musk finished school in 1989, aged 17. After enduring a hell of abuse and depression, both at the hands of his father and his classmates, he was finally free. He bought a ticket for the first plane to Canada to live with his mother. It was there he attended Queen's University, a cunning move to evade mandatory military service back in his native South Africa that would have halted his studies once he turned 18. After obtaining Canadian citizenship, a plan that proved pivotal in allowing his migration to the USA, Musk completed dual undergraduate degrees in economics and physics at the University of Pennsylvania. However, he had loftier ambitions. He successfully enrolled in Stanford University down in California in the hope to earn a PhD in energy physics, only he'd never complete it. The ideas man. Every visionary needs a catalyst, and for Elon Musk, it was the dot-com explosion in the 1990s. In true Elon Musk style, he dropped out after just 2 days. He'd had an idea to launch his first internet company, Zip2 Corporation. Needless to say, he never did get that PhD in energy physics, though his life's work and legacy would revolve around science and rocket fuel. Zip2. He started Zip2 with his brother Kimball, who had also made the move over to the States from Pretoria, also following in Elon's footsteps to escape military service and their father. The company initially helped local businesses establish an online presence and later worked closely with newspapers like the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune to bolster their online content by running an online city guide. After just 4 years of operation, the Musk brothers sold the company for $307 million in cash and $34 million in stock options. Not a bad earn at all. Ever the ideas man, Elon looked at his next venture as a stepping stone to his eventual dream: PayPal. It's hard for the younger generation to imagine, but once upon a time, there was no such thing as PayPal, ZipPay, or any other third-party company that acted as a protective layer between the consumer and the merchant. After selling off Zip2 in 1999, Elon and Kimball Musk used the money they'd made to start up X.com, which later became PayPal after a merger with Confinity. It was a revolutionary idea, and one that quickly gained the attention of an internet giant at the time. This was the heyday of eBay. It had little to no competitor in the online auctions market, and just after 3 years of operation, PayPal was sold off to eBay for the handsome sum of $1.5 billion worth of stock. Elon Musk owned 11% of the company himself, and this cash cow pushed him into the realm of multi-millionaires. Quite the achievement, and one that would set the tone and pace for the rest of his life. SpaceX. This visionary of a man wasted no time establishing his third company, SpaceX, in 2002, with the express goal to build reusable spacecraft and commercialize space travel. Although Elon Musk aimed high from the beginning, the purchase of a Russian-Ukrainian rocket failed. 3 rocket launches in a row of the self-developed Falcon 1 also failed, and the money ran out. Only the 4th launch was successful, but this did not immediately provide a financial relief. A contract with NASA to supply the International Space Station saved the company. Suddenly, grand plans to ferry astronauts to and from space looked all the more achievable. 2012 arrived, and with it the fabled Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon capsule. Finally, SpaceX became the first ever private company to send a spacecraft to the ISS, where they transported 1,000 pounds of materials and supplies. At this point in his life, Musk described himself as feeling very lucky, like he just won the Super Bowl. Then, in 2015, the first soft landing of a booster Falcon 9 rocket also succeeded, and Elon Musk and his team achieved something that many experts had doubted. They made space travel not only sexy, but also significantly cheaper due to the reusability. The next box that Elon wanted to tick was manned spaceflight. This goal was achieved in May 2020 with the Demo 2 mission, a mission that saw the first astronauts being able to lift off from American soil since the end of the Space Shuttle program. Mission to Mars. Elon Musk's main goal, however, is Mars, and that's why SpaceX is currently developing and testing the Starship. This 2-stage to-orbit super heavy lift launch vehicle is fully reusable and should be able to take 100 people to the Red Planet. He believes that the human colonization of Mars is imperative for us to progress civilization, tying back into Asimov's ideals he adopted while back in high school. But we can't run before we can walk. Starlink. 2018 came, and with it was the arrival of Starlink. SpaceX had received permission from the US government to carry out a plan that involved using a network of satellites in a low Earth orbit to make high-speed internet access more widespread across rural areas. They rolled out batches of 60 satellites at a time, and since May 2021, SpaceX has launched 1,565 Starlink satellites. Several thousand more will follow over the years. Tesla. Elon Musk's other dream: to mass-produce affordable, more environmentally friendly electric cars. He co-founded the company in 2003 after just 5 years of research and development, released the Roadster, a vehicle capable of a blistering 0 to 60 miles per hour time in just 3.7 seconds with a range of 250 miles per charge. It was based on the Lotus Elise chassis, and it's also the first car to be launched into space, carried by a Falcon Heavy rocket in a test flight on February 6, 2018. Several other successful models followed, and by 2017, these vehicles had forced Tesla into an automotive powerhouse, overtaking General Motors as the most valuable US car manufacturer. However, Elon Musk is not only revolutionizing transportation by car, but also the truck sector. The Tesla semi-truck is looking to take semi-autonomous driving to the notoriously dangerous interstate transport industry. Using smart sensors and aerodynamics, the Tesla semis are able to form a closely packed convoy to reduce energy consumption, whilst also allowing 500 miles from one charge. His other projects. Needless to say, Elon Musk has so much more on his plate, too much to fit into a single biopic video anyway. There's Solar City, an ambitious $2.6 billion venture to create an integrated residential and commercial solar collection and storage grid. Also, the imaginatively named The Boring Company, tasked with building innovative underground tunnels to reduce street traffic. Hyperloop is a concept for an entirely new form of transportation, courtesy of Musk's one-of-a-kind mind. Riders would be propelled through pods at speed in excess of 700 miles per hour, all the while being safer than a train. That's not even the wildest idea. He's deadly serious about the pursuit of artificial intelligence. OpenAI is a research company making advancements in digital intelligence with the purpose of benefiting humanity and improving our quality of life. Not only that, Neuralink is another business that's looking to implant devices into the brain to help people merge with software. In a few years, you could potentially beam your favorite tunes directly into your brain from your smartphone. The work ethic. To say Elon Musk works hard is an understatement. He pulls 80 to 90-hour weeks, sometimes more, double the average full-time working week, and then some. He stated in interviews that once upon a time, he would work up to 22 hours in a single day, stopping only to nap and eat in an effort to get ideas out of his head onto paper and eventually made into reality. To top it all off, he's a father to 6 children. These days, he finds the time to spend 4 days a week with them. Naturally, this is extremely difficult without the use of some sort of temporal device that freezes time, or maybe a time-traveling DeLorean capable of precisely 88 miles an hour. So how does someone maintain the home life-work balance and know how to divide their time fairly between the two? Time boxing. Put simply, he blocks his day 5 minutes at a time, accounting for everything. He's an extremely organized, albeit quirky, character. Loss of a child. Despite Elon Musk's several wonderful children today, he also knows the pain of losing a child. His first child, Nevada, died in 2002 at just 10 weeks old as a result of sudden infant death syndrome. Exciting news. Back to SpaceX now, who have just been awarded a $2.9 billion contract by NASA to build the lunar landing, taking mankind back to the moon. The craft will be named Starship HLS and will be implemented in the 2024 Artemis missions. It's Elon Musk's biggest achievement to date, and one he's been working on feverishly for the best part of 20 years. His lander will accompany the Orion spacecraft, a joint venture between revolutionary jet fighter manufacturers Lockheed Martin and Airbus's Defense and Space Division. The Bezos rivalry. You know who didn't get a slice of that juicy NASA funding pie? Jeff Bezos. He's the world's richest man, founder of Amazon and fellow celestial stargazer, looking to accomplish commercial space travel with Blue Origin, the same way Musk wants to with SpaceX. The two have butted heads on numerous occasions in the past in an attempt to be the top dog in the private space flight sector. But nothing compares to this past fortnight. Bezos saw the NASA lunar lander snub as a personal embarrassment and has launched a challenge in the Supreme Court. It's a case of sour grapes, as Blue Origin's bid of $6 billion was twice the price, with similar contractual obligations and scope. An official statement from Blue Origin: NASA has executed a flawed acquisition for the Human Landing System program and moved the goalposts at the last minute. In NASA's own words, it has made a high-risk selection. Their decision eliminates opportunities for competition, significantly narrows the supply base, and not only delays but also endangers America's return to the moon. While NASA refused to comment on their selection of SpaceX, aside from acknowledging that they made a calculated but somewhat risky gamble in not awarding a dual contract, our man Elon Musk had just a little bit to say on Twitter, with a simple yet venom-infused message when retweeting the story. "Can't get it up to orbit, lol." Elon Musk on Twitter 1. Jeff Bezos in appeals court 0. There's no doubt about it. Elon Musk is a magnate with a wicked sense of humor. From the man who's poised to revolutionize space travel, all the way to savage tweets taunting other billionaires, he's a curious enigma, no doubt. It's exciting to imagine what the man could achieve in the next few decades, and we're all watching.